In this section, I'm going to be sharing with you the basic knowledge you need in making and fixing your hood. Now let's start with the measurement. You're going to place your tape at the middle of your forehead, round just like you see me do. If you pay attention to the way I'm holding the tape, you'll realize I'm adding pressure to the tape. Your hair add more allowance to the hoodie, so try your best to press it down as much as you can to reduce it. You're going to mark your point in between the first two bones you feel. Mine gave me 19. 19 minus 1 is 18. Always minus 1 inch. Forgetting the round width for the hoodie cap. Measure around your head and add your 2 thumbs inside to give it some space as you move it around your head, which gave me 24 inches. The width of the hood is 24 inches. 24 divided by 2 is 12. That's how we got the 12 inches. While for the length is 18 inches. You don't need to add allowance to this measurement. Everything will just sort itself. Mark 4.5 inches at this part I'm marking so that it can enable us to do our curve with ease. Mark 4 inches at this part I'm marking so that it can enable us to do our slopey down curve. Now let me show you how I get my unpopular curve for my hood. Divide the length of the hood by 2 and mark it. From the top to where you mark it, divide it by 2 and mark again. Divide the length from the beginning of where you mark to the ending of where you mark by 2 to get the middle. Mark ½ inch to the middle we just marked and watch closely to see how I connect the lines together. Mark ½ inch at this point. At the beginning of where your ½ inch stops, measure around your width. Remember your width is 12. After marking mine, I still had a space of ½ inch. That ½ inch is going to be for my joining allowance. Also remember to trace a lining for your hood, just like this one I have over here. Because this is a stretchy material, I'm pinning my work so that I can sew easily without any stress. If the place I sewed mine is different from yours, then you're doing something wrong. Try not to cut the thread you already sew. Carefully notch the curvy part in your hood. Remember, anything you do to your main hood, do it to the lining hood too. Watch closely to see how I join the both of them together and also show you the parts to sew. In this part, if you are paying attention, you'll realize I'm just joining the two middles together. You see, from the point I pinned, you're going to sew from that part to the ending, and you're going to do that same thing too to the opposite side from that point to the ending too. After sewing it and turning it inside out, you should have something like this. Take your time to iron the side perfectly well so that it's smooth. Mark 2.5 inches at this point. This is the place where your hole is going to lie. Watch closely to see how I punch the hole. Make sure you arrange the material before you punch your hole so that you don't make a silly mistake. This is the outcome after punching it. Do the same thing to the other side too. Fixing the drawstring might look a bit tricky. Watch closely and pay attention to what I'm saying and you're gonna understand. I prefer pinning my work like this so that when I'm sewing around, it's much more easier. Even if it's a stretchy material or a non-stretchy material, I hate when my work shake. I'm going to be sewing 1 inch round. Before sewing, it's also very helpful to mark with your chalk 1 inch round so that when sewing is easier. While sewing, when you get to the point that has the iron hole, slowly sew that part, because if you try sewing with speed, you won't be able to sew straight. It's going to shake. This is the outcome after sewing round. It's time for us to fix the drawstring. You're going to start by using the safety pin to hook the drawstring together. Then you're going to pass it through the hole out to the other hole. It's going to take a while, but I know you got this. And that's how we pass the drawstring. And now you want to measure around your hood to see if it's complete. Remember, when we measured our head, it was 24. So we should be getting 24 here. In a situation whereby you're getting something higher than your main measurement, for instance, our main measurement is 24 and you're getting 25 or 26, you can reduce the size by resewing both joining at the middle of the hood by any inch that works well for you. Have it in mind you don't want to sew to the topmost part of the hood. A decent length is okay. As you sew, try your best to connect your new thread line to your old thread line in a way that after turning it, your hood still looks good, it doesn't look weird. And if your hood is smaller than your main measurement, make a new one because joining it makes it look weird unless you want to do a style. Now you're going to lap the bottom side of the hood to the other side of the hood by half an inch. Sew and hold them together like this. Remember, after holding that part of the hood, now we are left with 23.5 inch. So your neck, when you're cutting your neck, is going to be 23.5 inch, not 24. Something I notice is it's very handy to iron your joining to the back so that when you're fixing the hoodie, you won't even worry about that because it's just going to lap naturally like that. For us to get the middle of the hood, now we joined it. We start by pinning it at this point so that it's not shaky. Then we divide it by 2 and mark it. By now you should have already trimmed your neck to 23.5. Now you're going to place the middle of the hood to the middle of the shirt and pin it round. Take your time to sew around and weave the inside so that it's clean. We are then going to top stitch the bottom part of the hood with the joining together. Here's the outcome after sewing round. One of the main reasons why I measured round ahead was because I want a situation whereby even if your material is stretchy or not stretchy, your hoodie is always going to fit you without a zip. Now let's work on a hood that has a zip as I share other helpful knowledge. In a situation whereby your material is slippery and stretchy and when joining the hood together it's kind of shaky, it's good to add hemming gum at the bottom part. I prefer using hemming gum than sewing because when you want to make amendments with hemming gum, you can easily pull it out and make amendment, but sewing you will have to start losing. Just a quick reminder, the width of the hood is 24 inches. When fixing a zip, if the width of your hood is 24 inches, you want your neck to be at least 25 inches, so that half inch for joining allowance at the left and half inch for the right. But if you join your own zip by 1 inches, then it's going to be 1 inch by the left and 1 inch by the right. That's why I just did this 24 plus 2 so that you have an idea of what's going on. I've trimmed my neck by 25 inches and now I'm going to be dividing the middle of the shirt. Behind the camera, I already weaved the sides of the shirt we are joining the zip at. When fixing your zip, you want your zip to cover up only the allowance you left for it. After joining the 2 sides of the zip, this is what it looks like. Now we are going to sew the front sides of the zip. Sewing the sides like we did makes the back look clean and also make the front look clean too. Before fixing your hood, it's good for you to mark half inch at the side so that when fixing the hood, you can follow that line so everything laps perfectly well. Take your time to arrange the bottom part of your hood to the neck and pin it round. I'm just remarking the chalk so that I can easily see it and sew straight up. Now we're going to weave the inside to make it clean and then top stitch the bottom part of the hood with the weaved parts together. When sewing this part, just sew slowly so you don't break your needle. We are finally done top stitching. And this is the basic knowledge you need in fixing a hood with or without zip.